Seems like the market's slowing up just a little bit. That was a really quick scalp, Jag. It was kind of hard. It was just, it wasn't one of those A-plus setups that like I'm just like waiting on. It was just kind of me in the moment reading the price action and ended up buying puts on this candle up in here and then selling right here. So I mean, it was like less than 3 minutes. It's probably closer to a 2-minute trade, right? So I mean, I literally made all the money that I made today in that little blip of time. That's it. Sometimes that's all it takes, right? I mean, yeah, I could have made more. I did think this probably had some room down. Holding through this bounce would have kind of sucked. But, for it to be not an A-plus setup, I'm not looking for a lot. You know what I mean? I mean, I know that there's potential for, another $2-3 move. But for something that's not charted out for me, that I'm been waiting on for a while, it's just not worth taking. I think something now that we can all focus on here is going to be kind of something along the lines of this, right? I mean, it's not going to be perfect, right? This downtrend isn't perfect, but you could see back up through 260 and 265, right? You can see that's the top of this range up in here. The high here is 271, so back up to 265. That's kind of weird things. I'm going to be interested up in this area. Right? Do I really care about down here? No. I just thought that, well, if we can break yesterday's low, 251.50, right? So let me mark that off. So, that's kind of why I even considered this. So 251.59 was yesterday's low. And, we pretty much came right down to that. So we broke through it. We kind of retested it, right? We were holding under it, retested. I thought it was going to go on this candle and I was going to miss it. That's why I drew this little box here that you guys can see, right? I wanted everything to bounce back up and kind of test this and roll back over, right? And nothing's ever perfect, but 252 to 251.50 is kind of in that area is where I want to see price test and then see sellers continue to push price right back down. And sure enough, that's what we saw, right? So like this candle popped up and instantly got pushed down. So I thought, man, this is probably going to go right through. Luckily, we got one more chance on it. Bought puts right up in here, 250 puts for about $6, and then instantly saw this thing roll over, test 250, ended up bouncing, right? Then, all I know is my stop loss is going to be, let me take this off here. My stop loss is going to be back above here, right? Back above these rejection areas and probably going to give it like 252. Right. So I know that my stop loss is going to be about, I don't know, call it this wide here for my entry. And my profit, so let me make this red just so everyone can kind of see it a little bit better here. So that would be, my entry would be right here, right at the bottom of this red box. And I was looking for a break at 250. So let me line this back up, looking for a break at 250. So you can see, I actually got further than that. Hang on. I'm getting fancy here. I got to the bottom of that candle there. So you can see that my risk to reward on this trade is great, right? It's like a 1 to 3 almost, maybe 1 to 2.5 or whatever you want to say. But getting in up here on this little bounce, retesting kind of around the area of the original low that we broke, my risk is small. So I can get in at the small size, and then I ended up adding on this break. When it came back into low a day quickly, it kind of proved to me that there's still selling pressure there, and that all I'm looking for was a break at 250. This ended up going down to 245, 246. So was there a lot more on the table? Sure, right? But considering my risk to reward, I wasn't risking much, so I wasn't looking for a lot. You could be the guy that is risking really small and taking 100 trades looking for a massive win. And you can lose on the majority of them and then have one big winner. That's just not really what I want to be, right? If I'm on a swing trade, my stop loss is much wider, but my target is much wider. So for this, all I was looking for was a nice break through 250, and we caught it. You left stream early. Yeah, so I took this exact trade right here, Gio. We broke through this low a day here, kind of off this bear flag. Bounced kind of right off 250. We started buying puts up in here around 251.50, and then sold kind of right on that 250 break. It was very quick. It was an under 3-minute trade. But like I was just going over here, the risk to reward was really nice, and it was quick. I mean, it wasn't anything fancy. It wasn't something that is set up for a couple days, so I didn't put size on it. But it was a nice little base hit kind of trade, right? You put those in your pocket and you move on, right? That makes up for that little loss yesterday on DJT. So that was pretty much it, right? I mean, I wanted to see Tesla, start moving back up through 265. It didn't. It sold off. Market was weak. When I saw the market was weak, I kind of had to change my game plan, right? Everything was selling off. So then I tried to pick something. Okay, Tesla's the weakest one here, right? So let's look at everything else. Amazon, let me zoom out. Amazon kind of popped up and was kind of chopping around a little bit. Yeah, there was maybe a decent little setup here, maybe to a low a day here, but overall kind of chopping around. Microsoft, why does it keep doing that? Microsoft was straight chop off the open for the first like 10 minutes and then sell off. So that was kind of nice. So I mean, there's a lot of money to be made to the downside. However, I thought Tesla was one of the weaker ones. Google didn't sell off until after I got off around 12 Eastern. So maybe there's a little bit here. NVIDIA to me was probably the nicest one, and I wish I took this over Tesla. So why was NVIDIA the best one? Well, look at prior day's low, right? Right here around 127.50, 127, 25. So right at that white line there, you could see we came down yesterday, bounced off it. Today, we came down to it, bounced, and then once we broke through this, I mean, look at this move, guys. 127.50 to 125, 124.50 in a matter of 10 minutes. That would have been a really awesome trade. I wish that I was focused on that. However, I didn't really have a downside bias today. I thought the market had pulled in pretty nice last week, and we'd probably see some buying pressure. So I want you all to understand what's going on right now, just so we're on the same page on what's going on with the Mag 7, right? Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA. Why are these selling off? Well, they've been on a massive run, as we all probably know, right? I mean, NVIDIA has gone from, it used to be $1,000 a share. So now it's 100, but up to 140, right? So that's a 40% move from just this high here. You see Google broke out, right? Apple made new highs, still making highs. Microsoft, Tesla, they've all had crazy runs, right? So there's money that's been made. But to realize those gains, right, people have to sell stock and take the money, right? Because they bought and then they have to get out, so they have to sell. So what's been popping off right now? I don't know many small cap names just because I don't trade them often or, honestly ever. But what's been moving, right? So, I watch SPY, right? S&P 500. This has still been breaking out here. And QQQ, these have been moving pretty nice. Qs are down a little bit just because these big tech names are selling off just a little bit. But the S&P 500 is still nice and strong. But the big move that's happened in the last 3 days, can anyone guess it? Let me see if anyone can guess this. It's an ETF. It's like a future. Can anyone guess the ticker? There you go, Chag. Nice. IWM, guys. Look at this. I looked at it this morning and I was like, it's something I typically trade is for the Russell 2000. So just like the S&P 500, right, the top performing 500 companies, these are the top performing 2,000 small cap companies. And money is so just because CPI came out, that means kind of smaller businesses can now when interest rates are coming down, that's going to help businesses, it's going to help homes and all that stuff. This broke out. I looked at it this morning and I was like, this has gone from 200 to 215. I thought that was a little much. We're also gapping up this morning, so I didn't want to chase it. And this went from 219 to 225. So pretty crazy. We're not at all-time highs yet, but this is finally making a move. You're also going to see that TLT is still kind of sitting here, but this is kind of coiling up, looking like it's going to make another move higher. A trade that a lot of people are going to be looking at, especially if Trump gets elected, is going to be TLT long, right? So people are going to be wanting they're buying bonds now because interest rates are high. And when interest rates comes down, that's where they can cash out. Yeah, right, Chad. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of why people that I know of at the firm and whatnot are positioning for this. They're going to be wanting to buy TLT, which is going to be treasuries, because they're going to go up in value whenever interest rates come down, right? And that's going to be one of Trump's main things. And then they're going to be wanting to short oil, because oil is way up in the air considering where we were before Trump, right? So this is 2020 back in here. USO is about $45 a share, and we're now up. We hit almost we hit over 100% gain here, up to about 92. We're still sitting right about 80. So oil is going to be way up in the air right now, right? Because gas prices, as we all know, are higher. But Trump's going to come in and he's going to want to, his quote, "Drill, baby, drill." He's going to want to, drill oil here, bring prices down, so oil will come down, and bonds will go up because interest rates come down. So that's going to be kind of the inverse trade there. So around election time, I don't want to position myself, 6 months in advance right now. But around election time, I'm not an oil trader and I'm not a bond trader, but these are macro trades that you don't want to miss out on, because they do offer some money to be made. Does that mean I'm going to be putting boatloads of money toward this? No, but it's something that I want to be positioned for sure. Another thing, we traded DJT yesterday, didn't end up working out. However, if he does get elected, from people that I've traded with, they think that this is going to, go up to 80, 90, even $100 a share. If something happens, like, guys, if he actually would have gotten assassinated, the stock would be at zero. So this is I think that there is going to be a trade here. I think maybe this is kind of a YOLO swing kind of thing, right around election time. If he does get elected, I think that this could really get moving, right? So not something that I would like be investing in, right, for long term, but I think maybe a week or two swing, maybe a couple days even, just try to catch a little piece of this move would be good. So DJT, USO, there's some other oil companies, right? Like, we could do more research on it, but like XOM, right? ExxonMobil, Chevron, Valero, like, these are all going to be stocks to look at to the downside. But I think USO is probably going to be the best one, or XOP, right? That's the SPY of oil if you want to just short everything at once. But I think, United States oil, probably going to be something that's going to come down, right? Because we expect gas prices to come down if Trump gets elected, and is drilling here, which means gas prices go down, which means because there's more supply. So just some macro trades that I don't typically trade on a day-to-day basis, but I think it's good to always consider this stuff and also know it for the future, right? You're going to see another cycle like this again, right? I don't know if it's 10, 20 years down the line, but to get some experience with this kind of trade, now maybe you're a big time trader by then, and you can make a year's worth of money on one or two trades. So these are things that interest me. I think it's pretty cool. Another trade from the firm is like short Lulu. Lulu's kind of going out of style, right? I mean, everyone's kind of getting old. Now there's other competitors, right? You can see what the stock's been doing. Everyone knows Lululemon, right? It was like the big thing. I mean, I still wear it and I still buy it, but it's not like the craze anymore, right? There's off-brand stuff. There's companies like Aloe, all the big names like Nike and Adidas. They've all kind of copied it. You can tell just by the stock price, this has gone from 500 to 300. So, it's down, I don't know, what do you call that? 30%-ish, 20%. So I don't know. There could be 40%. I don't know, whatever. I can't do math right now, but I think you get the picture. So yeah, something else like Nike, right? Like, Nike hasn't done anything that's that substantial, recently, and the stock price is showing that. So Casey Page on YouTube, thoughts on WMT. I'm in 72.5 call for August 16th. Well, I mean, I don't know where you entered. Um, I don't want to be buying calls up here just because this thing hasn't pulled back since $50 a share, at the beginning of the year. But man, Walmart is moving, and there looks like they are going to be adding some AI stuff, which means they're going to have less paid employees and more robots, which is going to help the company, and that's why this thing is moving. Along with people not really being able to afford a lot of things, right? So you go to cheaper options. Could you take a look at Microsoft if you get a moment, please? Sure thing. I can look at it, but is there a trade idea that you have? Is there, are you in a position right now? Because I can look at this and say it's been strong and it's pulled back to 450, bubble bass. So, anytime you guys want to throw tickers at me, give me at least a trade idea, or if you're in a position, what you're looking for, what your idea is. Because that'll just help me give you my thoughts on your idea or whatever. September 20th, 700 call. Well, I don't know that we're going to get to 700. That's a pretty massive move to happen in 2 months. So my advice is probably going to be to bail on that. I think you're probably going to be losing a lot of value here. Let's see, September 20. I'm sure you have them for dirt cheap. I don't even see a 700 call. Oh, Meta. Okay. I was like, whoa. Even then, though, let's see here, September 20. $1.45. Again, I feel like 700 is still kind of asking for a lot for 2 months of time. Is it doable? Sure. But it looks like you're kind of running into an earnings play. I hope you're not positioned really heavy on this. Simply because, I don't know. I mean, earnings could be really good. I mean, we're up by all-time highs. It looks like, we have earnings right around the corner on July the 31st. So, if it's a trade where you're kind of like, I'm willing to lose like 50% or, 80% on the position, then, maybe hold it for earnings. I mean, even if it gaps up above 600, looking at these calls, the 600 calls are $645. So from, if you can make $200 on $150 per contract, and you can get them up to 350, then I think that's a good trade. I don't think that you're going to see 700, considering this is, I don't know the market cap, a couple $100 billion, if not $1 trillion. That's a lot of money to get like a 50% move on this. So, and they're not a company like NVIDIA that are producing chips and stuff for, for the future and AI and stuff. But so I don't know. I mean, I think if you have a mindset of like, I'm just kind of not, I don't want to say gambling, but not looking for a crazy move. I mean, maybe just hold it through earnings and see what happens. No, Frugal, I'm getting to that. If I wanted to play NVIDIA through earnings without running into IV, when would I do it? So you're going to run into IV regardless, unless you're way far expiration. So, if you buy a year out, you're not going to really run into IV problems. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say a year out, but at least a couple months, just because, especially after the split and stuff. I mean, NVIDIA is going to be probably the most heavily watched earnings coming up. So, it could be a big move either way. So, yeah, definitely go further out expiration. What else you guys got for me? Yeah, or spreads if you want to play earnings, Latvian for sure. YouTube, Twitter, what else you guys got for me? Not looking for a whole lot tomorrow. I mean, things are really pulled back into some supports. Like, even Meta here, for example, you can see that we're kind of pulling back into this like trend line area here. So, I don't know. I don't know that I love going short on any of these stocks just because they're so strong. I don't think there's any reason to do that. I would love to see Tesla just really start picking up some momentum here and this go to 300. I think that's very doable. I may even take a swing out if this thing really starts ripping up through these highs. Yeah, I mean, I think it's very, very doable. And you could see this orange line here that we came in and bounced right off of. This is a very important line, and you all need to have this drawn. This downtrend that we were on for 2 years was broken, retested perfectly, and bounced. So, I mean, this could be you could even consider it the start of what could be a massive move for Tesla back to all-time highs, especially with the robo-taxi event coming out in under a month. Nice, Duco. Disney had a good day. Yeah, it looks like we bounced about 1.6% here. Yeah, Disney really did have a good day. I don't know why. This year it's really struggled. I mean, actually, we're kind of back where we were. Well, we're not where we started the year, but considering our high was 123 and we're down at 98, pretty big sell off. But I don't know. To me, there's just not really any technicals there. There was a good trade on FedEx that I missed, and Shopify. This was an awesome FedEx trade. I cannot believe that I missed here and today. Wow. I mean, look how beautiful this setup is, guys. Rip on earnings, rejected up in here, came back in, held 290, back up to all-time high. I mean, what a trade there. That would have been amazing. I guess we're not even at all-time highs. Wow, all-time high 319.90. This might be in play for us pretty soon. I'm going to set some alerts for that. I love that. I don't know that I want to chase this move. So if it comes up in here back to 300 and then we get that, that's kind of what I'm looking for. But this could really pop off. FedEx is doing I think they sold part of their company to put some cash in their pocket. So you're going to notice this is weird. FedEx is up. Where do you think UPS is? UPS is down in the dumps. They aren't making those correct business decisions right now that FedEx is to keep the company alive, right? Because Amazon's really come in and hurt these guys. So that actually might be a good trade. Another trade I missed today was Shopify. It doesn't look that big on a massive chart, but if you look, I think it was 4 hour here. Really nice consolidation break into the gap. So, up this morning, I wonder if there's news. So we got a couple upgrades here. Bank of America upgrade Shopify to a buy. So, I mean, nothing crazy, but this is moving pre-market. So this is kind of why. And typically I don't trade shop, so I don't look at it very much. So I don't typically go through it in my morning kind of run through, but today was a good day. I think this could probably continue a little bit higher. So I'm going to throw this up on the chart over here. Go shop, and then I'll throw what was it? Oh, FedEx. I'll throw FedEx up. So I'll be able to watch those in the morning. So, yeah. Thoughts on UNH? Strong earnings report. Back to 550. I like the way you wrote that out for sure. Yeah, so up to 550 resistance. There's strong buying here, move to 570. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great trade plan for sure. So, I mean, obviously the next level you need to be looking at is like 554.70 and 555. Let's see here. Wow, I mean, this actually looks really good. 558.1. So, like these stocks aren't those multi-trillion dollar mag 7 names, right, that have been running. So just like IWM, healthcare stocks are going to be moving, industrial stocks are going to be moving. Let's look at like cat popping off here. So you can see where the money is being filtered into, right? It's kind of getting pulled out of these big names that everybody knows, big tech, and going in elsewhere. So I wish I had my notebook up here, but UNH, that's a great setup, Madden. Great job, man. I'm going to be looking at that as well. I think technical wise, that's a good looking setup. You just need it to really break through this 550 level, and then you have that 554.10 and then 558 up in there. I think 570 may even be calling it short. I think this could maybe move to 600 if this is really, really breaking out. So great idea. Great idea. I'm going to throw some of these tickers. I'm going to throw UNH up here just because. All right, so I got all these up. And they had earnings this morning. So beautiful. I love it. Great job. Hang on, let's see here. What did I miss? I pushed the Robotaxi out to October. I think they delayed the actual delivery of them. Hang on, let me look it up here. Oh, wow, they moved the event 3 hours ago. I thought it was I thought just the delivery of the actual vehicles was delayed. Wow, okay, October. That's a pretty decent delay. Bomex, nice. Do options on 3x leverage options work the same as they'll work the same for sure, Farouk, but they're probably going to move a little bit crazier just because even the stock is 3x leverage. It's like crypto, you just click that. So yeah, meaning if SPX goes up 1, you just earn a regular option. Yes. I don't remember seeing a day, but I'm not fully. Yeah, I don't see a date either. Bomex said October, but I don't know exactly. That's interesting. The stock seems to not really care. What else we got? Yeah, so Amazon Prime Day today. Looks like the stock didn't really care. Really surprised that that trade didn't end up working out. This thing went through 200. Jeff Bezos really just stomped on this thing. Bad timing by him. Greedy timing by him, really. This is only up $10 from its original all-time high. If he would have waited, this could be at 210, 220. So I don't feel bad for him. Yeah, not really loving Meta. NVIDIA is just, I think NVIDIA is probably just going to go flat here for a little bit. I mean, you kind of see what it did here. Took a couple weeks. This might take a couple weeks, kind of coil up here. Then we might get that move to 150, 160. But like I'm talking about, money is flowing out of these names right now for the short term. But it makes sense, right? Because these have gone on a big run. So people have to take profits. They gotta sell some shares over these really high, all-time high prices. It just makes sense. So when things are making, excuse me, when things are making those all-time high after all-time high, just keep in the back of your mind, this is going to stop at one point. Don't be the person just trying to milk every penny you can out of it. There are chances to make good money for sure, and you should. But when they start to slow up a little bit, no one wants to be the last guy bag holding. So you get those very violent, aggressive sell-offs, within one day, right? If we give up half the move. It could take 5 days to move $20 and then 1 day to move 10. Around earnings, IV goes up. Does this mean the contracts are worth more? Farooq, I've never really tested the theory. I think if it was that easy, it probably wouldn't be a thing. But if you buy a contract, let's say that that, NVIDIA reports every July and you buy next year July calls, well, you're going to lose value just over a year's worth of time, right? Unless the stock goes up. So, I don't really know. We're looking for September 20, so that's going to be like 2 months after NVIDIA earnings. I don't really. I feel like the trade you're looking for is you're just kind of looking for anything you can find right now. I don't know that this is a specific trade you should be looking for. But yeah, around earnings, IV goes up on all contracts. So yes, they will be worth more. They're going to be priced heavier because options dealers price things higher. IV typically will work against you after earnings, right? Because if you're looking to buy a contract thinking that, it's going to go up in value when IV goes up, sure, but you'd have to sell before earnings. Because after earnings, IV will come down and those contracts are going to be losing value regardless of which way the stock goes. So maybe that's a trade. I don't know. I haven't really thought that deep into it. If you hold on to it, up into earnings, but you sell before the actual earnings number comes out, who knows? Might be a trade there. What else are you guys looking at? Any other tickers? Got some new people in here. Love to see you guys speak up. Komet, Scott, Tefu Hudden, Subrex, Kerala, Corolla. Did you hear about that guy who made 100K? Yeah, how about that? Freaking crazy. I was talking to Quinch about it today. I thought it was in one trade, and it wasn't. He basically just day traded ES futures, 10 times in one day, and just kept going in heavier and heavier and heavier with his profits. ES futures, and turned it into 100 grand. That's kind of a miracle story. You're not going to see that very often, and please don't think that that's realistic, because it's not. He got lucky. It may have been SPX, but I thought it was like ES futures or futures contracts or something. I don't know. From the screenshot, it said /ES, but basically trading in SPX and just going in full port after every win, and somehow got it up to 100,000 in one day. I mean, that is the recipe for disaster, but it worked. It worked. I mean, it's like going to a casino and winning, the jackpot. It just happens. So, all that combined, Farouk, all of that combined. When I see stuff like that, I just give it congratulations and move on. It doesn't affect my trading at all. Yeah, and no one can. He got very, very, very lucky, and If he tried to do that twice, he would lose everything. I can pretty much promise you that. So congratulations to him. It's freaking awesome, life-changing stuff. But don't think that's realistic and possible. I mean, yes, it's possible to do, but like I said, it's like a 1 in a billion chance of you being able to do that. Should I ever get to say 26,000? Is there something special I need to do to have unlimited day trades? I don't know. So once you get above 25,000, you then are considered a day trader. So you're allowed to have unlimited day trades. It sure is nice once you get there. I remember getting past 25, and it's when I first did it, I just thought, oh man, I could trade a lot more. And that's just not what you want to be doing. Use it to your advantage, as I can close positions on the same day, then open up different ones with that capital. Don't look at it as I can take 1 million day trades that day. Because that's originally how I thought about it. And there was, my equity curve over time was just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, because I was just machine gunning trades out. Good, Farouk. Good, man. You're thinking the right way. So no, you don't have to wait to settle at all. Couldn't you do something similar in a different setup, knowing what you do? Stickman, I don't exactly know what you're asking. Farouk, what do you do outside of trading? Do you have a day-to-day job or no? Yeah. Yeah, Chag, seriously. Who knows? Maybe Farouk has like 25 million somewhere else. Couldn't you do something similar in a different setup, knowing what you do? Yeah, I mean, definitely. Awesome, Farouk. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I would say that, especially being on a trading floor, I mean, yeah, there's guys that take, trades every single day, but let's say that they typically, let's say that they take 100 trades a month, okay? And let's say that 8 of those are like full-size legitimate trades. The other 92 of those are like 10% of a normal position size kind of day trades, right? So, I would say that like the best traders in general across Forex, stocks, options, anything like that, the best traders trade very little, right? The market doesn't give opportunities every single day. So I would say that they probably trade 10 days out of the month, maybe 5. Umar Ashraf, someone who I learned a lot from beginning, he trades very little, maybe 5, 6, 8 times a month. I mean, that's really all it takes. Yeah, of course it can be done knowing the right things. Yeah, like, if you had insider trading secrets, or like this oil trade, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like some people are gonna position themselves short oil, long bonds with billions and billions and billions of dollars, because this is like, it's just economics, right? There's not really any if, ands, or buts. Trump comes in, drills more oil prices come down, oil stocks come down. Trump comes in, interest rates come down, bonds go up. It's just that's just how the world works. So, yeah, and when you get an A+ setup, that's when I put size on. Last month there was a couple A+ setups, and I put size on them, and it paid for the next 3-4 months if I didn't want to trade. So those are times when you really want to push it, and then like this week, for example, I'm reeled all the way back in, really small size, not looking for much. Yeah, Fergie. I mean, that's perfect. That's kind of where you want to be. That's where you want to be for sure. Got some good stuff tonight. Yeah, Farouk. I mean, I think it will. I just we're kind of running into some ugly moves recently with what's been going on. I hate it. I wanted to see Amazon at 220. I wanted to see this moving back higher, but like I said, it's all going to stop at one point. The music's going to stop, and it has. I tend to look at it as any of you. Let's could pull that off and then not just. Yeah, I mean, we could, right? You could, or we could lose a lot of money. I mean, yeah, if I really wanted to sit at a chart and try to scalp over and over and over and over and over again, honestly, I think I'd probably lose money. I mean, maybe I could make some, but I think I'd probably lose because I'm really good at taking one or two trades a day, and sometimes one or two trades a week and just sticking to those A+ setups. And, your equity curve just continues to go higher, right? You're continuing to make money and make money and make money. Yes, of course, there's losers here and there, but they're quickly negated by that next day or that next trade. If you can do it, if you come into a streak with 5 or 10 red trades, then that's where you're in some trouble. I've been that guy before, Stickman. I've been the guy who yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would say what that guy did was extremely lucky because going in full port over and over and over again, all it took was one of those trades to go red, and he loses 80%, and he's done. And that run is over as quick as it started. Y'all's own strategies, but achieving the same result as that lucky guy. But my strategy isn't scalping all day. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm not reading it right. Like my strategy wouldn't work. Like I could sit here and read price action all day, but getting good entries and looking for good exits and doesn't make sense as their volume, like all that stuff wouldn't play into it. So, are there computers that could do that? Sigma 100%. Nice, Fergie. That's a pretty good price, especially for the long run. Farouk, I'm in Texas, right? I'm ready for Florida. Fergie and Chag and Stickman. I can talk country if you want, Farouk. I got a countryside, Jimmy. Nikki's a true Texan for sure. She grew up. She's in Houston. I met Nikki in real life. She stayed at my parents' hotel. What'd she say, TK? Good. I wouldn't call it a ranch hotel, but something like that. If y'all want to look it up, you can. It's called Melrose River Club. Yeah, I'm excited. I got a bunch of, for you guys going to Florida, I got like handouts and stuff. Yeah, I think it'd be a good meetup place for sure. I got handouts and stuff, basically like an Ethan's Guide to Trading thing. I got all my rules, my sayings, some psychology on there, some chart setup pictures, all that stuff that y'all can take home along with live trading and stuff. Yeah, I know it's hard. I know it's hard getting out there. Yeah, I guess it's in 11 days, 10 days. Yeah, I've never made a handout in my life, Fergie, but here I am. Y'all see that SpaceX and I think it's XAI, I think, are moving to Texas. I think SpaceX pretty much already here, but like the headquarters, I guess, from California to here. Don't want to deal with what's the California governor's name? How am I blanking on this right now? Newsom, yeah, Gavin Newsom. Yeah, it's not bad, man. 2 people. Who you bringing? Who you bringing, Latvian? I'm guessing Elon wants to get out of there. Ooh, nice. I might have a lady friend that lives there. But I think Elon's getting out of there for tax reasons and stuff like that. And Gavin Newsom, I don't think is very fond of him. There you go, Chag. I'd like to find some there too. Let's go out and have some fun. I don't know if any of y'all have done the. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. YouTube and Twitter. Thanks for listening. I'm gonna head out of here.